Hello everybody and welcome back to Nails by Bree. Today we will be doing a couple different basic designs, including a rose, a chrome rose, a marble, and an ombre. Now I do have all my base colors already down for this video. This is just a regular white polish, red polish, another white polish. Now for the marble I do have a white gel. And then the last color is just a regular polish but with a gel top coat, and you will find out later why you would need a gel to do the marble design. Now for this first rose, I am just going to use this regular red acrylic paint. It's just fine. I like it. It goes down a lot easier. But you can use any polish or paint that you want. Today I am using this little tiny brush. You want it as small as you can. Not too small, but you do want a pretty small brush to do this design. Now I am going to speed this video up a little bit while I am talking. But basically you just want to make a series of lines. They don't have to be even. The purpose of a rose is that the petals are very erratic, uneven. The more chaotic that they are, the better the rose looks. Don't worry about trying to make the perfect line, the perfect mark. Just randomly put the petals here and there, and it will come out just fine. Now, if you were going to do a smaller rose, you could just stop here. But for this design, I'm going to do a full nail rose. And feel free to comment below or leave any of your ideas, tips. Maybe there's a different way that you do this rose. I would love to hear any of your opinions, ideas, or thoughts on any of the designs in this video. If you would like to see some of my future designs or like to keep up to date, please subscribe to my page. I would really appreciate it. Now for the second rose, I'm going to do the same design but in black acrylic paint. But I'm just going to go ahead and skip through the video since it is the same thing all over again. No reason to watch it. And then I will show you how to do the chrome at the end. Okay, now that the black rose is done, I'm actually just going to skip to the next design while this dries because we do want it completely dry. This is the black that I used for the design. I'd usually just use Apple Bell. It's really cheap. Now, next we are going to do an ombre. And I am just going to use this real pretty blue, this pastel blue. So it's going to be a white to blue ombre. I thought this could be a nice Christmassy color if it's done in the right way. I am also just going to be using this plain white polish by Sinful Colors and just a plain makeup edge. That's all you need. It's a lot smoother. It's the best type of makeup edge to use. And we're going to use the hollow chrome as a nice glaze over top of it. So we are just going to go ahead and open up the white and open up the blue. And we're just going to stripe the colors across the makeup sponge. And this is no pattern. It's nothing fancy. Just brush the colors across the makeup sponge. Blue on the bottom, white on the top. Now I did lay down the white base because it will just make less stripes. We won't have to go over it as much, basically, and it will make the blue pop a whole lot more. So what we're going to do is basically just sponge it over. And you want to get an even coat all the way across. Don't worry if it's not that dark at first. We will go over it a few times. So I've gone ahead and gone over the ombre about 3 or 4 times just to get that perfect blue. Now I accidentally did make a little boo-boo and get it on my black rose, but that's okay. You will barely notice it in the end. So now that the rose is completely dry, we are going to take our holographic chrome powder, and I use OPI Chrome Effects. I love it, but you can use any chrome powder you have. Now I don't need much chrome for this, so I'm actually just going to use what's in the lid, and I'm just going to take a clean makeup wedge and just kind of scoop out what's in the lid. I don't need a lot, and we're just going to rub it over top of the acrylic paint, and it's going to stick to it just like it would a non-tacky top coat. Once you've gotten everything covered, you're just going to take the clean side of the makeup wedge and kind of buff everything in and make sure that you got all the excess powder wiped off. And see, and the chrome just sticks to the polish, and it's beautiful. And we will top coat everything at the end all at once. Now for the first ombre, I'm going to go in with this purple gel polish by Bundle Monster, and I'm just going to take like a scrap piece of foam paper or a palette, anything flat, and just dab a little bit on there. We don't need much. This is not a big design, so don't go crazy with it. You just need a little dot. For this, I'm just going to use a slightly bigger brush than I did for the rose. And we want it a little bit fluffy. So we're just going to get a little bit of polish and do kind of random lines. They don't have to be in any order. We are going to fade this out in a little bit. You just want some sort of pattern. Now for the next part is why you need to have a gel top coat or gel polish down for the base, because we are going to take a little bit of acetone and just dab it into the polish. Now this is where you get your faded background look from, your faded marble. Like I said, it doesn't have to be in any sort of pattern. It doesn't have to be in any sort of way. Just dab it and keep dipping in acetone. You can keep going back. Use as much acetone as you want until you get that desired marble look. Okay, now that we have our base marble down, I'm going to use just a simple black gel. It could be your black gel paint, black gel polish. It doesn't matter, and I'm going to use my non-tacky top coat. So first we are going to lay down a layer of non-tacky top coat. And I didn't mention before, you do want to cure that first layer in an LED or UV light. This clear layer, you do not want to cure it. Do not cure this clear layer, because what we're going to do is it's going to cause your black to fade into the marble look. This is where we get some of the deftness to the marbling. So we're going to go into a smaller brush. This one is even smaller than the rose. This brush literally has probably like 2 or 3 hairs on it. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take a little dot of black and just kind of drag it along the wet top coat. And remember, this design is all about randomness. Don't stress about it, just have fun with it. So we're using the tip of the brush and just kind of dragging everything down and letting the top coat do most of the work of blending everything together. Now, once you get everything where you want it to be, you will cure this layer in an LED light for 60 seconds or a UV for 2 minutes. Now that we have everything nice and cured, both layers are done, we are going to take a buffer, just a soft buffer, it doesn't have to be real rough, and we're just going to take away the shine and buff it lightly. Don't go too deep into it or you will scratch off the black. And then we are just going to wipe clean with a little bit of alcohol. Now I am just going to go in with a little bit of foil glue, and we're going to use the same brush that we did with the black, just a small, no hairs. It doesn't have to be that thin. I like thin brushes. I cut all my brushes down to absolutely nothing, but as long as it's thin. So we're going to take a little bit of polish glue, and kind of like we did the black, we are just going to kind of blend it in, do a few lines here and there. And no, it is a little bit hard to see when you're using foil glue because it is white and it dries clear. But as long as you have a base idea of where you are laying everything down, this is where we are going to put the foils for the very last layer. Now that the glue is dry, it is completely clear, I'm going in with this silver holographic foil. Now, if anybody knows me, I love holographic anything. It has to be hollow. So, just dab the foil. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just wherever you put the glue, that's where you put it. Now for the second marble, we are going to be doing a white base. This is just gelish white polish. And then same thing, just going to be dabbing a little bit. Now, since we did all this all over again, I'm basically just going to fast forward it until I'm done. We're doing everything the same exact way as we did the purple, but I'm just doing white. Now the only thing I'm doing different with this one is I'm actually going to use a rose gold hollow foil. And I'm just going to apply it the same way I did the silver. Just a little bit at a time wherever I put the glue down. Look at this rose gold, it is gorgeous. Now that all the designs are done, I'm basically going to top coat all of them with gel top coat, except for the marble. That one we are going to do a little bit different because I want it to be a little bit shinier. I want it to pop a little bit more. So we're just going to use, and once again, I'm using Chrome Effects, no tacky top coat. It is the best. I love it. And it is what I use for all my top coats. For the ombre, we are going to use the chrome powder, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to take a little bit of my gel top coat, and I'm going to lightly dip the tip into the chrome powder. And this, when we brush it on, will just create a nice, thin, metallic sheen. And you don't need a whole lot, barely dip the tip into it. This really does leave a really beautiful sheen. I don't know how well my camera is picking up all the holographic flakes and metallic. So just trust me on this, it is really gorgeous. Once you do that, we are going to cure them all in the UV for 2 minutes or an LED for 60 seconds. And don't forget to put a second coat on the ombre that is not metallic at all, just your regular gel top coat, and then cure it the same way. After that, let's look at the end results.